Hello everyone, my name is Peter Bom and this is for Australian Motorcycle News, an update from what happened today in Silverstone on Friday, the first day of the MotoGP. A lot happened actually, very interesting, and if you have the time, watch tomorrow's sprint. I can't call it a race, officially it's called a sprint, because it looks to be that it's going to be very, very tight and very interesting. Not only because our Jack Miller is in P3 with the Yamaha, but for more reasons. First of all, a little bit about the track itself. Silverstone is a long track, we have nearly 6 kilometers, and starting from here over the start-finish straight, turn 1 is a bit of a special one, because turn 1 is more like a fast kink than a corner, and this has consequences for how the riders line up at the start tomorrow for the sprint. Because you know, MotoGP riders at the moment have the front down, they have the rear down, just for getting quickly off the line, but then for turn 1 you need to brake really hard as the rider to disengage the front whole shot device and the rear ride height. And for this fast kink riders don't normally brake so hard, so a lot of practice starts were done today here, and everybody is very focused on choosing the right setting for tomorrow to make sure it disengages here, otherwise you will be in trouble all the way around. Now, what happened today, two things about this track that made it interesting. The long hangar straight, it's called hangar straight actually, because this is a former airfield from World War II. This long straight, obviously the last corner before the long straight, you need to have a very good exit. Now, what happened today, we saw many riders exceeding track limits, so like almost having a penalty, because they did it on the inside of turn 14 or the outside of turn 14. And this whole set of corners here, super technical, entry with a super high speed. And if you have the first wrong, then the second one will be more wrong, the third one will be even more wrong, and then before you know it, you are either slow or you don't take the loss and have the inside here. So lots of riders had the best lap cancelled on the inside of 14 or later on the outside of 14. What is interesting also on this track is that the last sector, from here all the way to the finish line here, looks to be clearly Ducati territory. Because it's a long straight, you need a drag bike, you need a bike that has 2 times really good speed and then stops very well in straight line. But, okay, in the end, Alex Marquez is on provisional pole, being the fastest today on a Ducati. But it was until the last seconds of the session, it was Fabio Quartararo who was leading the practice session, so going straight as number 1 to P2, qualifying 2, and he did it only in the last sector. He was 0 everywhere. He took 2/10 out of the best lap time at that moment in the last sector on a Yamaha, which is obviously very strange because the Yamaha is supposed to be sweet handling but slow. Now Yamaha recently found some power, and Yamaha has an inline 4-cylinder with a long crankshaft. It's the only inline 4 on the grid, and that gives it really good stability and corner speed around here, so it exits very well here, takes a really good speed from here. And the new engine, like I said, is quite good at the moment, so they don't suffer so much on top speed. So the Yamahas are really good in Jerez on slow tracks, but they're also really good on a fast track. It's nearly 6 kilometers with a relative high average speed, but still the Yamahas can do something special over here, which is good, because otherwise it's a Ducati Cup. So happy to see the Yamahas, Fabio Quartararo in 2nd place, Jack Miller in 3rd place, and then we have Alex Rins in 9th. So in total, the surprise of the top 10, because you have to look at the top 10 here, because these are the guys that go straight to Q2 tomorrow. We have 3 of the 4 Yamahas inside the top 10, which is very good actually. So it shows Yamaha made a big step. And visible on the Yamaha was a new arrow on the front, but even more special for me was the new swing arm. It's not a totally new design, it is new enough that we recognize it, but clearly Yamaha, who went testing last week in Misano, found something really good on the swing arm and on the arrow, because now the Yamaha still is a Yamaha. Miller called it like a normal old school bike, and it's so easy and so friendly and gives so much feedback. Since they found some speed, they are really there. So the surprise of the day is having 3 Yamahas in the top 10. A little bit of a surprise what happened today was Marc Marquez not being on P1. On his first run on the soft tire, he was in P1. He was clearly, it was easy for him to be fast. He was held up in his fastest lap in the last couple of minutes from the session, which is quite ironically because he was held up by Enea Bastianini. You couldn't get past him quickly enough, so this killed his fastest lap. But we speak about Enea Bastianini, last year's Ducati factory rider who won both the sprint and the main race last year. He's now on the KTM and he's suffering a lot. He's way too slow. So Mark didn't have a really good chance because last year's win was holding him up too much. Yeah, that's quite special. What is also special, but in a negative way, is once the soft tires get thrown in, the KTM couldn't do anything. Not even Bastianini, especially not Bastianini, but not even Vinales, for example, who on the normal race pace is really there. Acosta is also quite good there. But as soon as people start to throw in the soft rears, KTMs are not, no KTM in the top 10. One Honda, Zarco again, in the top 10. And 2 of the Yamahas, 3 of the Yamahas. So it's quite a mix for today. I can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow, obviously, in the race, but knowing Ducati, they will be stronger tomorrow because they put all 6 fast riders' data together and make a better setting for tomorrow. One Ducati rider who already sort of destroyed his weekend here, just already in the first day, is Franco Morbidelli. He made a little bit of a mess. He was too slow, he had a crash, and in the end, he probably will look at the penalty because he was like sleeping on the track, getting offline, not looking back, going back on the line, destroying somebody else's fastest lap. And it's not the first time with Franco Morbidelli. So he has to see Simon Craver, the race director, and probably will get a penalty for tomorrow. If he gets a penalty, it will probably be having to do the long lap, which is here around turn 7, and that's killing your race. So how to destroy your race weekend already on Friday? Franco Morbidelli did it today. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helps you a little bit to understand what's happening tomorrow. Don't miss tomorrow's qualifying, especially not tomorrow's sprint. It's short, but it's going to be a spectacle. Thanks for watching.